Hey, Jason Russell from Critical Dice, and I'm here today with my friend Tiffany. Say hi to me.
Hello.
And we're going to be asking some Dungeons & Dragons questions to Tiffany. Now, Tiffany, how long have you been playing Dungeons & Dragons?
Well, confession, I have never played.
So we're going to ask a non-player Dungeons & Dragons questions.
This is going to be interesting.
It's going to be really interesting. Mm-hmm. What is your only exposure to Dungeons & Dragons been so far?
Well, growing up, now I grew up as a kid in the 80s, 90s, okay? I honestly was told that the game was evil. So because of that, there was no reason for me to play, right?
Right.
And the extent of my gaming is Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, totally. Now, you know a little bit because you've been helping me out, packing dice and doing that kind of stuff. So it's actually really interesting watching you when we do like days where we're sending out just hundreds of orders, and a bunch of my other friends are here who are like hardcore players, and we're all like talking and doing stuff and tossing out ideas and campaigns. And the first couple of times you were here, I'm watching your face like, what is happening?
It's so true.
So you've been exposed to the cult of the dice, as it were. But so like, what do you know about D&D? Like, what is your level of knowledge right now?
The level of knowledge would probably err on the side of the dice.
Okay.
I know that there's a 7-piece set that is crucial.
Yes. Can you name the 7 types?
Oh, dang it. No, I can't.
Yes, you
we
can.
Are not. No,
you know some of them. What's like the most important die in that set?
The one with the 1 and the 20.
Yes, a D20, right?
D20, yes.
Very good, very good. Now,
but you confused me a while back. There was a misprint, and I've been trying to go through and organize all of the dice so we know.
I have a lot.
We know what's there. I mean, to me, I just go, gosh, the dice look really pretty. There's cool designs on them, whatever.
And you even I was out of the office and you sent me a picture and you're like, is this a complete set? And I was like, yes, I'm very proud of you.
I lined them all up. And so I could make sure that as I was putting sets together that we got the exact thing in.
Yeah.
So that's all that I know. I know that people can pick player, like you can design your player, I think.
That's basically it? Okay.
That's about it so far. I mean, I've caught some things here and there, from listening to people as we've been packing or doing some of your shows.
Okay, well, so speaking of dice, so here's 2 of them that are a little bit interesting. And these are 10-siders. So what is it that you notice that's a little bit different about those?
The numbers. Like there are higher numbers on this one and there are lower numbers on this one.
Do you know why it's like that? And why?
I've wondered.
Yeah. So there are some times in D&D where you'd want to be able to generate a random number between 1 and 100. But if you did a D100, it would almost be a ball and it would just roll forever. And so what they did here is that this one that has like 20, 30, 40, all that on it is your tens place. And the single digits are your ones place. And so you could roll them and you would get like a 90 and a 1, which would be 91. What do you think people do when they play a game of Dungeons & Dragons? Like, what is that? What does it look like?
I think the thing that comes up a lot is, or that I see from my perspective, is a lot of bonding within the groups.
I think that's super interesting that you notice like the social and
very much so
the social aspect and like the bonding aspect of it, because that's true. So,
and a lot of different people. Like it's completely open to anyone. Like you've got your corporate person, but then you've got your barista and a whole gamut in between, even probably from economic status, all sorts. So I love that it kind of brings down the walls. So for me, even not like initially thinking like Dungeons & Dragons is evil, I've changed my perspective on that just because I've seen just how community driven it is really. And it looks like it gives people a safe place to be able to build a really great community.
Okay, so let me ask you some terms that are commonly used around the table, and I want to see what you think they mean, okay? Mm-hmm. What does it mean to roll initiative?
I'm going to go with it probably means to start something new or a new type of program or skill.
That's actually pretty close. Yeah, it basically means combat's going to start, and we want to see what order everyone acts in.
Okay.
So even though like in the game, it's in like the imaginary world of the game, everything happens all at the same time. Like, you know, like you watch like a fight scene from Braveheart or 300 or something. It's all happening chaotically, but we can't do that at the table, even though sometimes it is pretty chaotic. It's turn-based. And so everyone's like, okay, so you'll roll a D20 and see who gets the highest number. And then everyone kind of takes turns in order. But all of those people, like the 6 players and like the 4 monsters, all of it happens in 6 seconds.
Oh, wow.
But at the table, it takes like 45 minutes. That's really good. Okay.
Okay, so that's interesting.
What does it mean when you get a crit?
I mean, a crit sounds bad.
It's short for critical.
Oh, okay. When you get a critical, I mean, that seems like you're sounding the alarm for... You got to make a specific move, or you've got to make a move within a certain time frame.
Like things that's like critical, it's got to happen right now.
Yeah, it has to happen.
So it actually what it means is that you've either gotten the highest number on a D20 or the lowest number. And so like if I were like if my character I don't know.
Why the highest or lowest?
Okay, so I don't know why it's called a critical, other than it's always been called that.
Okay.
But like, so like if someone's going to attack like a monster, then and they get like a natural 20 or a critical success, that means it always hits no matter what, and typically it's going to do like extra damage. And conversely, when you get that 1, it always misses no matter what kind of like bonuses or special things you add to it, and it's going to fail, and sometimes really bad things can happen. And why it's a critical as opposed to like a full or a complete success or failure, I don't know, but that's what they've always just called it, is a critical or a crit. Oh, okay, so I want to show you some monsters from D&D, and I want to see what you think they're called and what they do. So this guy here, what do you think he's called, and what kind of creature is it, do you think?
Well, his body's like part bear, but also seems part porcupine. But also his face looks like an owl. But his paws are for sure like a bear.
Yeah.
But see his hair, the top is porcupine-like.
Yeah, maybe he uses like pomade or something.
That's yeah.
So what would you call this?
I mean, probably combining animal names.
Sure. You're actually not far off. That's really close. You're on the right track.
Bear, owl, porcupine.
It's called an owlbear.
That's an owlbear?
Owlbear, yeah. You called it a bear owl, but that's really close.
So there's no porcupine though. Okay.
No porcupine.
All right,
I think that's supposed to be like feathers turning into fur or something. It's not,
from the top of the owl.
Yeah,
okay.
It's not super, super clear, but yeah, that's an owlbear. That's really good.
Wow, I have no idea what I mean. He looks fierce.
Yeah, I mean it's just basically like a bear but worse. And
I see. Okay, I see the wings
on the
here
feathers
too.
on the kind of the side there. Yeah.
Okay.
Weirdly, they don't fly. They actually make a really interesting noise. Do you know what noise it would make?
I mean, it's got to be part like who and. A growl?
Yeah, gur-hoo. That's what they go gur-hoo.
That's cute.
How are your stress levels? Are you okay?
I'm okay.
Okay. All right. Good. All right.
Yeah.
All right. What is this guy?
Okay. That looks like a octopus with one eye. But then look at its teeth. Mm-hmm. Oh, no. Actually, there are multiple eyes, aren't there?
There are.
Oh, yeah. Now I see. There's just one big eye. But then is it also part insect then? Like insect?
What makes you think insect?
Well, look at the little, like, it almost looks like he has pinchers. Like that the eyes could be pinchers somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, well, they are eyes. Like you're right about that. There's eyes there.
So is it 2 animals put together as well?
No, actually, this one's a little bit different. It's not a amalgamation. What would you call him?
Gosh. I mean, it's a cool looking creature, but
He is. It's one of my favorites.
It is.
There's a picture of him in the other room.
That's right.
Yeah, you've seen a version of him.
Yeah. Yeah, octopus has to be in the terms.
Okay. So wildest guess, like what would you call him?
Octopia. There.
Octopia. I like that. He's called a beholder. Because
really?
Yeah, and the name is kind of a joke because beauty is in the eye.
Oh, in the eye of the beholder.
Right. Yeah. The eyes all do something different. Like they have like laser beams that shoot out and do different things, like hurt people or paralyze them. I wondered if
those eyes did something.
Yeah. And then, like that middle eye is kind of cool because it basically, if you're like in this like cone from it, it turns off magic. So like none of your magic works, and like wizards can't cast spells. Like your magic sword's just a dumb sword now.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
For a certain time period, or
as long as you're like in its gaze.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where if you fought one of these, like the table's like yes, but also at the same time like no.
Okay.
So this guy.
Ooh, that is dark and creepy, and he's got lots going on. We've got like squid-like features for his face.
Yeah.
But then some sort of claw.
Yeah.
For his hands, but then he looks like part human.
Yeah.
As well. But he looks very evil and commanding.
Yes. Yeah. These
like
creatures
he looks
are
like he's a bad guy for sure.
Oh, absolutely a bad guy. And they're super intelligent too.
He gives off that vibe with even just the way that his face is, that he's very knowledgeable with whatever he knows.
Yeah, and it's all like evil knowledge, right?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Like you don't want to miss that. You don't want to mess with this guy.
No, yeah.
Like Darth Vader.
Yeah, he have very Darth Vader vibes. Like, you go around the corner and you see this guy, you're like, nope, see ya.
Yeah. Okay, see, I do know some of my pop culture stuff.
Yeah, she's good. So what do you think, like, his, like, abilities are?
There's got to be brain something or another, I feel like.
Yeah.
Really? Okay, like he's commanding where he can, I don't know, somehow manipulate thoughts or... Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
You're nailing it. This is amazing.
That's crazy.
This is great.
Manipulate thoughts. But then it looks like as physically though too, he could really take you apart.
Yeah, those 4 claws.
With those claws, for sure.
Yeah. So he's called a mind flayer.
Mind flayer?
Mm-hmm. Or technically an illithid. And that honestly, they call them illithids as a joke from the Iliad.
From the Iliad?
Yes. They have psychic powers and they can like control people and do like psychic blasts at people and stuff, but they also eat brains. Oh. They're literally like brain suckers. Yeah. Okay. And so like this,
so that's how they keep going.
Right. So they could actually like incapacitate you with their mind powers and then just chomp on your brain.
Yeah.
Okay. They're terrifying.
Hence the claws.
Hence
they
the claws.
Need that to pin you down. To suck your brain.
Yeah. They just want to eat your brains. I mean, that's all. I mean.
All right.
I mean,
get it.
in this economy, it's just. I mean, it's what they got to do.
It's what you got to do.
Yeah. Do you know who publishes?
I have no idea, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
I have no clue. Is it a kids company? Is it like a Hasbro? Is it like a? So
actually, technically,
is it really Hasbro?
So it's published by Wizards of the Coast, which also makes like Magic the Gathering. Remember that card game?
Yes.
So they make that too.
Okay.
But they're owned in the last like 10, 12 years, I guess, by Hasbro.
Ah.
Yeah. So Hasbro makes Dungeons and Dragons by proxy. Yeah, exactly. So Wizards of the Coast puts out new books every year. And so I want to read to you 4 names of books from Dungeons and Dragons. These are like rule books and things. And one of them isn't real. And I want you to try to guess which one is real. Okay. So 3 of these 4 are real.
Okay, got it.
So there's Xanathar's Guide to Everything, Volo's Guide to Monsters, Bigby's Handbook to the Plains, or Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes.
What's the last one again?
Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes.
I'm going to go with number 3 because it sounds a bit ordinary.
Bigby's Handbook to the Plains.
Mixed in with the other 3.
You're right. That one's the fake one.
Ah, really?
So Bigby actually is a character from Dungeons and Dragons, but as of right now, he doesn't have a book. Okay. And this is even that kind of a joke because there's a spell named for him called Bigby's Hand. And so I just called it Bigby's Handbook to the Planes. Right. You know that in Dungeons and Dragons, there are certain characters that can cast spells, right?
I know that.
And so I wanted to like ask you about a couple spells, and you tell me based on their name what you think they do. You up for this?
Yep, for sure.
Okay. All right. So here's a pretty common spell, Blink. That's just what it's called, Blink.
I mean, something with your eyes, like makes your eyes change their view.
Okay, so like you can see different kinds of things. Like you see something
differently than
it's like the Predator,
initially.
Like when he can like see into the infrared spectrum. So actually what it does is it blinks you into one of those other planes of existence where like people can't see you or hurt you.
Oh.
And every like turn, like you're bouncing back and forth between those two places so that you can kind of protect yourself a little bit.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So that's pretty good actually. All right.
Okay.
Here's one, Gentle Repose.
Put you to sleep or put you into like a deep or like makes it look like you're dead.
Kind of, it has to do with death, yeah.
And then you can only, maybe I'm bringing my Sleeping Beauty knowledge into this too much here.
So is the Sleeping Beauty spell like it makes you look like you're dead, but like you're super not?
Yeah, because then the only way that she awakens is by true love's kiss, right?
Right.
So is there something that wakes you from this death?
So what Gentle Repose does is that if you do die, it keeps your body from decaying so that there's more time to possibly use other magic to like bring the character back to life. Oh. So it's like magical embalming that doesn't like damage the body.
Magical embalming.
Yes. There are like super very specific and like practical spells in D&D.
Yes. Okay.
Like so I'll tell you about this one. There's a spell called Prestidigitation. And one of the things it can do is it can magically clean your clothes.
Oh, that's great.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like the one spell everyone was like, if you could pick one spell from D&D to have in real life, and we're like, Prestidigitation, like we can just clean stuff up.
Yeah.
It can snuff out candles or light them back up. Oh. You can make like weird little like spooky noises. It's
Gosh, that'd be helpful.
It'd be really helpful.
Yes.
Yeah. Instead it's like, Alexa, turn off the lights or whatever. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Make sure she's not going to go off. Alexa, stop.
Well, that's awesome.
So I think that's all the questions I wanted to ask you. Like, is there anything about like Dungeons and Dragons where you're just like, okay, what the heck does this mean? Or why is everyone like this? Or players, the game, whatever? Because like it's interesting to see your perspective from the outside looking in, coming into this kind of hobby.
Yeah, there's so many things obviously that I don't know, but here's like the ultimate that I have not figured out yet. Okay. What is the purpose of Dungeons and Dragons? Like, what are you working toward? Like,
are you asking me ultimate? Are you asking me like a metaphysical question here, or
no,
like a
with
game
the
rule?
Game itself? Like, is there ever an ending, or is it like a never-ending thing? I don't know this one.
Okay,
at all.
so you're right. It's really confusing because is that there's not like, it's not like Mario, like you said before. It's not like Mario where you have a certain number of levels to clear, boards to clear, and then you beat Bowser and rescue the princess. Yeah, that's the hardest part for a lot of people, is that there's no way to win D&D. Okay. You win by having fun and having a great story, which is why everyone's so obsessed with it when they play. And you'll see, us when we're here in the office, like just endlessly talking about it. Their goal is to kind of complete a quest that has a lot of twists and turns and objectives and betrayals and all this kind of stuff. And so they might finish what's called like a campaign, which would be like, anywhere from like 5 to 100 different sessions where they've sat down to play to ultimately defeat, Sauron and destroy the One Ring, right? Do you get that reference?
I did.
Okay. All right, cool. I'm just checking. But then it might be that campaign ends and then they might just start a new campaign with those same characters, or even just make new characters and it's a whole new story. Okay. There's not a way to win. They're not accumulating points. It's about just having fun with your friends, which kind of goes back to what you said first. What you noticed was that kind of bonding and that social aspect. Yeah. Which a lot of people have joked that it's kind of cruel that you made that Gary Gygax made a game for nerds that requires them to have friends, but nerds oftentimes are socially awkward and don't have a lot of friends. But because of that game, there's a lot of socially awkward people that have found great communities.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So thanks for
you.
watching. This was asking my friend Tiffany, a non-player of D&D questions. If you like this, subscribe, share it with a friend, and in the comments, ask other questions you'd like for me to ask maybe Tiffany in a future video. But thanks so much. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Also, Joe, I want to point out, you're small. You're really small. I'm not super. This isn't like The Hobbit, where I'm really close to the camera and you're really far back. You're just a very small person. I think that's it. Just
5 feet tall.
I'm noticing that now. Here,
Yeah.
maybe I can drop my chair.
Yeah.